Hello and welcome to the podcast Coaching with Sisters. It's us, Diliara and Dinara, two professional coaches passionate about self development, growth mindset, emotional intelligence, and we are happy to be here and engage in interesting conversations about various topics. On this platform, we want to create a warm, loving atmosphere that will help you expand your thinking, heal from some experiences in the past, and reframe your perceptions of things and so on. Hello, Dinara. How are you today?
Hi, doing very well. Happy to see you. How are you?
I'm happy to see you too, and I'm happy today to be the sister who wants to ask you some questions.
I'm excited and I'm really happy about this approach that we have, that we will change roles, and I love how dynamic it is.
Yes, me too. I think it's a great idea. So today, I think we will speak about different aspects of coaching. First of all, we would like to know how you came to coaching, and then we would like to talk about more your practice. And at the end, I think you could give us some recommendations. But let's start from the very beginning. First of all, I think me and the listeners will be very curious to know how coaching came to your life, how it started, and what makes you more passionate about coaching, what aspects of this work.
Well, that's a really interesting question, and it's always really exciting to reflect on the past and try to make a puzzle of what events have brought me to the point where I am. Well, let's remind the listeners what coaching is and who a coach is. Coaching is an educational process in which a person learns deeply about themselves, about their thinking. And in a coaching process, it's mostly about focusing on the positive sides, on the strengths, not weaknesses, not traumas like in psychology. And a coach is a person that creates this space of warmth, acceptance, and the desire to boost the potential of the person. So if I look at these definitions like that, then I want to say that I have been a coach for many years of my life, but I didn't know that. Only lately, let's say during the pandemic, when I had a tiny identity crisis where I was asking myself, in order to really escalate, what should I do? Should I start my English language academy or should I try myself in some other sphere? Because I was a bit stuck, I was a bit stagnant. I had a really big flow of clients that I was teaching for languages, but I was not feeling fulfilled. So that created a stage in my life where I started asking myself deeper questions, and I finally admitted to myself in total honesty that I am passionate about people's behavior, self esteem, mindset. And then I did my master's degree in neuropsychology, and I invested a lot of money in getting ICF coaching qualifications. So that finally allowed me to call myself a coach. But I was doing coaching as a trainer when I was helping individuals develop certain skills in leadership, communication. I was also doing coaching when I was teaching foreign languages because I was mostly focusing on the positives and on the strengths. So, yeah, I would say that coaching has been a big part of my life for many years, but only recently did I finally realize that. And also, I should, of course, say that you became a coach way before than me, way before me. And you also inspired me to pursue this career because I saw beautiful transformations that you had and beautiful cases of people that you worked with and how their lives changed. I was like, wow, is it really possible? So seeing you as a role model also definitely played made its impact.
Thank you so much, Dinara, for sharing, and thanks for a compliment. I'm happy to be the one who also puts a little bit of me, my part, on your being a coach that we have today. And I'm also very happy for those students who took English classes with you, and they got much more than just great knowledge of English and getting great results in their English tests and getting English, helping English in their career and studies, but they also got this sense of positive mindset, concentration on the results, not on the mistakes, and this inner transformation, I would say, that you gave them with their English teaching. So I'm very happy for those students. But today, you're a coach and you have clients who come to you, and as I see that the majority of the clients that come to your coaching sessions, they come with the aspect of the relationship. So can you share with us, how did you come, how did you decide to be the relationships coach, and who are your clients, what are they here for these coaching sessions with you?
That's a beautiful question. And it was not so easy to establish a certain niche in my perception of the job, because at first, for the first couple of years, I just called myself life coach or mindset coach. And I had a feeling that I am here available for everybody, but at the same time for nobody, because when you have such a wide spectrum of people that you can work with, the clients don't really understand if you're the right person for them or not. There's a really good example that I've heard somewhere, that when you go to a hospital, imagine you have an earache or something, you are not going to see a doctor that specializes in surgeries. You are not going to see a surgeon. You're not going to see a traumatologist. You're not going to see a GP. You ideally want to see a doctor that specializes in ears, because you know that they are going to help you. They're going to see the root right of the problem, and they're going to give you the best prescription. So that monologue that I had in me some years ago made me ask for help from one of the mentors in order to see what niche I can establish. So what's my ideal who's my ideal client? What's my ideal product? It's not just important for me as a professional, but it's also important for marketing in general, for this digital world where there are so many specialists, so many coaches, but I need to know what makes me unique, what makes me different, so that my ideal clients can reach out to me. And when we analyzed most of the cases of women that I had worked with, we saw that the biggest shifts that they had, or the biggest transformations that they lived while working with me, were in the topic of relationships. So there were situations where people were on the verge of a divorce, and then the woman finally understood that she's committed to this man and that they want to continue growing together. Then there was a client that actually finally admitted to herself that she wants a divorce. Then there was a woman that finally felt butterflies in her belly, although she didn't believe in relationships. So the inner work that my clients did in my sessions somehow made some magic in the topic of relationships. So my mentor and I made an agreement that I'm going to call myself a relationship coach. And when I first said it to myself, I laughed at myself. I was like, seriously? What? You, this young lady, a relationship coach? And then when I shared it with my partner, he also was a bit skeptical, because we both focused on the quarrels that we sometimes have. And that a best relationship coach, we thought, has to be this ideal persona that doesn't quarrel, that lives in peace, and that is an expert in all sorts of relationships. But actually, that made me grow as a person and as a specialist, because this taught me to accept that nothing is perfect, and that it's totally okay that as a human, I have emotions and that I can have bad days, I can have great days, but as a professional, I give everything that clients need to make those positive changes in the topic of their relationships. So as a coach, I create rapport. I create a space for the client to feel safe, accepted, loved, taken seriously, and we visualize what the best result for them is and how they can get there. So, as a professional, I do it really well with a lot of care and love, and my cases speak for themselves.
Wow. I feel goosebumps when you tell the story about how beautiful coaching is and how it helps people to feel themselves, to get to know better themselves, and then get to know what they really want in this life, what's really important for them, and welcome these changes to their life, yes, and make the important decisions. It's very beautiful, Dinara. What you are doing, I think it's very important. And in terms of this topic, I had an idea to ask you a question. So, what do you think? Uh, how people need to decide where do they need to go? Do they need to go to a psychologist or a coach when they have some in their relationships? And when is the right time to think to feel that it's a time to do something? And how can they choose? Because I think that it's more common and people are more used to hear and know about psychologists, like a couple psychologists, but this is coaching. It's totally different approach, yes, totally different reality, totally different methods of working. And so, can you give some light on this topic, please?
Yeah, I can totally share my perspective, but I'm not gonna say that it's the general truth that is world that is gonna be supported by the whole world. The way I see it is that a psychologist, a psychotherapist, a therapist views the people that ask for their help as patients, and they need to bring their patients to a certain norm. So they're not stable, and they need to bring them to some stability. They might be experiencing anxiety, they might be experiencing depression, they might be going through some trauma, or they need to do some healing work to retell their stories about the past in different words so that they can function better as human beings. In coaching, we view people that need our help as partners, as clients, where there is a 50-50, let's say, balance of responsibility. And as a coach, I destabilize my clients. They might be living a normal life, they might be feeling quite okay on their daily basis, but deep inside, they have this feeling that they could live better. They could fulfill their potential even in bigger scales, and they could feel even more excited and more passionate in their day to day. So that's where a coach comes in with this destabilizing approach. Why do you have this perception of things? What kind of perception do you want to develop so that you can act differently? So I would say that in psychology, there's a lot of like healing work, trauma work, but in coaching, it's mostly mindset, emotional state, and our main, our main, let's say, our main source of conversations is about the future and the present moment. In psychology, they mostly discuss the past. And I would say that clients should try both, and they decide what works better for them. And I always recommend people to do first free sessions with me or with any specialists, and in order to do the work deeply, they should feel connected to the specialist. And it's totally okay that um, I might not be liked by somebody, or that I might like somebody as a client. There's always this first contact just to see if we can build something great together. So before committing, it's important just to test it out with different specialists, different maybe methodologies also of psychology or coaching, and then decide who that person is that you're gonna spend a bunch of months together with.
I totally agree with you that it's so different, yes. depending on the approach, who is in front of you, your patient or your client. Yes, even this person feeling themselves a patient or a client, they are like solving different problems, yeah, different issues. They're working with different aspects, as you said. Or is it trauma and you need to come to normal, or it's some goals you want to reach, yes, some results you want to come to, and then coach comes and helps you together to get where you want to go, to get where you want to get. Yeah. And so do you work with couples, or do you work only with in the
I do both. I would say that I myself have experienced coaching as a client, both individually and with my partner. And in fact, it was an initiative that came from my partner back then when the pandemic hit us and changed the whole world. Statistically speaking, a lot of couples got divorced, they broke up because it was a really tough time for the majority of people. And we also lived through some crisis in our relationship. And the coaching sessions we had with this amazing coach who lives in Spain were were wonderful. They helped us shift our dynamic in communication. It taught us how to listen to each other through words, mostly with our hearts, how to manage our emotions on our own, and so on. So, since I believe in this product, I also offer it. I'm not going to do things just for the check in my list. I offer the world what I stand by. And I have done a bunch of sessions for different couples, and it's beautiful the kind of vibe that you can create when you're in this conversation where both individuals feel heard, taken seriously, where there's space for deep discussions about important things, and where you see how two people are becoming more synchronized, more attuned to each other. It's really beautiful to create this and to observe it as a specialist.
That's beautiful, Dinara. What you are doing is very important, yes, and as I already mentioned. But what do you see your mission? Why is it so important for you to help people with through coaching? Yes, to build their healthy relationships, to build their healthy mindset. Why is it so important for you? What is the biggest value for you? You see it in coaching and working with.
Mhm. All right. I would say my main mission is to share what I have in me with the people around me that come into my closest circle through clients, through friends, through trainees, coaches, doesn't matter, and to give faith in themselves and in relationships. Because as an individual, I was really skeptical of relationships until I was like 18 or so. I don't know if you know this fact about me, but I seriously did not believe that I could have a beautiful relationship in my life because I came with some baggage. I viewed men through really, really dark sunglasses. And that only happened because I hadn't known myself very well, or I hadn't known what was important for me, or I didn't see this abundance in the universe. So sometimes clients come with me with similar ideas, and I love the process of just debunking those myths, those illusions. And I think the reason why I chose to be a relationship coach is because I myself have gone through a lot. I've been together with this wonderful man for over 10 years now. I come from a quite dysfunctional family where I did not see a beautiful relationship. I learned a lot about it through books, through observing, through studying about psychology, and I feel that I have a lot to offer to this world in this specific particular topic. And yeah, that drives me and makes me quite fulfilled.
I totally agree, Dinara, that you have a lot to share with this world. And I'm pretty much sure that all those people, all those lucky people who come and have a chance to work with you, they're not the same that they were before they started working with you. And you help them to make their life happier, healthier, and this this sharing of love that you give for your coaching sessions, I can feel it, like you love the whole world. Yes, you love people, and I think this is one of the most important qualities for a coach is love for people that you definitely have, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of success in this career. And I highly recommend those who haven't tried. So as Dinara said, she has coaching sessions that you can try and you can see if it's a good fit for you. Yes, if it's something that really can help you. But before, let's share with our listeners, if you can, like I know it's not very easy and it's not very like, something you can say in 5 sentences, but anyway, can you give some recommendations that our listeners, yes, our audience can get to know today and they can implement in their life and they can improve something already in their relationships?
Right, that's a beautiful question, and I'll try to be concise. The main recommendation for me would be to focus on yourself. So whenever you have an instinct, an intrusive thought that you want your partner to be different, or that you want to change your partner and you want to substitute him or her with somebody else because you don't want certain scenarios to be repeated in your life, you are escaping from your responsibility when you have these thoughts, because it's not something you can control. So focus on yourself, on your growth, on your qualities as a person, and ask yourself, would you be happy to date yourself? Would you be happy to have somebody with these qualities? This question came from one of the conversations that I had with Dilara some time ago. It's a beautiful indicator to see, am I on the right path of evolution as a person? So focusing on yourself, and also uh, measure some sort of progress. It's a very coaching tool to use from time to time. Not to be like obsessed about certain goals you set up for yourself, but to be attuned to those goals from time to time. So imagine you want to improve your conflict management with your partner. So set up a goal for you. Okay, next time I have quarrels with him or her, I want to be more of a listener rather than a yeller. So write it down and then measure it. See if this is actually something you are aware of and you're trying to uh, make a change in, or is it something you decide to ignore and leave it for later? So, very often we are aware of certain little issues that we need to solve to be better people, but we don't write them down. We're not aware of them on a daily basis. So, try to introduce that to your life. So, first of all, focus on yourself. Ask yourself, are you a great partner to date? And then measure some progress that you are setting for yourself.
That is so true. Thank you so much, Dinara. Thank you for this conversation. I enjoyed my time talking to you, and I hope all the audience enjoyed as well. Please feel free to write the comments and offer us the topics for our future conversations. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Dilara, and thank you, everybody who has been with us.